Good morning, traders. Chris Buss here with Traders Profit Compass with your morning look at markets for Thursday, December 3rd. Okay, let's get right into it. SPY 2 hour. We've got a wedge developing here with a gap at more or less 365, maybe a little bit below 264.93. We tried to punch through that the other day, and that held. So going forward, depending on your timing, your exposure, whatever you got going on, $365 is your number. You don't want to see price go into that gap. You're pretty much assured of a gap fill down to 362, so that's $3. If you're a tactical trader, you could certainly get short on that. And the thing is, with this wedge, the way I have it, a break below 362, then you're on the wrong side of everything, and you've got another gap down here, and then you're probably looking at 354, 355 down here. So all of a sudden, what looks like just a simple gap fill turns into oh my God, now we're down $10 in a day and a half. So let's keep that in focus going forward. I'd like to obviously I'd like to see this thing hold and grind higher, even punch out of this box or wedge as we go forward. So keep that in focus. Here it is on the 30-minute chart, and you get a lot better feeling for the levels. Here's our $3 gap here at 365. Really, we need 367 taken out with authority, and we've got a little $2 consolidation range here after the gap up. Perfectly normal to consolidate that move, and with a move above 367, I think we see 370. We've got $3 flagpole. I think we come up to 370 on a break above 367, and that would be my technical target on that. Qs. I've dropped in a trend line here that fits pretty well. I've got multiple touches all the way up. I want to see the Qs walk this line higher. I was just looking pre-market. Apple has had a nice pop. I don't even know why. It's up $1 or so, which is nice to see. And also, we'll get into it, Tesla got a big upgrade last night, and it's trading close to 600, 590, 600. So hopefully, from a sentiment standpoint, if Apple and Tesla are feeling it, I think we got a fighter's chance of staying above this trend line, not being worried about a pullback into 300, which would be my base case scenario if we dropped out of this uptrend, come back here to 300, test it yet again. If that were to not hold, then 297.50 comes into focus. Here it is on the 30. You see I've got dropped in here a little shelf at 302, and we've got a little declining trend line here. What I really want to see is a bull cross here on PPO that curls back up and heads higher on a little breakout above 304. I think if you're a tactical trader and you're not in, I think on this little breakout, if we get it at 304, that would be a nice place to get long with a stop, 303.50, something like that, and then look for a move above 305 to accelerate this higher. IWM is just, I don't even think I've changed this drawing since yesterday. It's just been consolidating between 181 and 184.25. It is in the upper half of that range now. So if we look at the 30-minute chart, you know, if it can hold 183, get a chance to come up here to test 184.25, where if we get that breakout, then we'll be back off to the races. But you can tell momentum has gone flat, and it may take more time to build some energy. I think for today on active traders, 183 is your definite pivot here. Above, you can look for 184.25. Below, probably coming back into 181 again. Certainly don't want to see 181 fail. Then you're down into the high 170s with gaps to fill below. Facebook. I'm still long. Looking for a breakout above 290, which would take it up to, the high 290s, 298, 300. If you're not in, couple things. If you got yet another pullback into 284, I would be a buyer there with a stop just below. And by all means, if it came back to 280, I'd be a buyer there until it proved me wrong. Now, if it pulls back, $10, maybe something else is going on, in the broader market. So that'll be a game time decision, as they say. But I'm looking for the breakout. Yesterday was a nice consolidation day after this big move on, what was that, Tuesday? I don't know, Tuesday, Monday, forget. Must have been the first, Tuesday. Anyhow, if you're not in and you see a move above 290, that's your objective long, where you can set a stop just below and then look for the continuation higher towards 297, 300. Apple. Now I've got the shelf drawn in here at 123.25, where it had trouble yesterday and the day before punching through, but now in the pre-market we're in the I think we're in the low 124s. So this morning, if they fade that, there'll be a little gap up. If they fade that gap up and pull it back into 123.25, I'd be a buyer there with a stop just below. Come back into support, hit it there, and then look for the bounce after the gap has been filled. So we'll have to see if it's a gap and go, or a gap, let's fill the gap, finish unfinished business, and then bounce here. After having already broken out, what would give me real concern and pause is if they faded it and brought it back in below this 123.25, then that would be, kind of bearish. I don't want to see that happen. You never want to see a breakout and then a fail. So Tesla got some kind of big upgrade last night. Goldman, I think, raised their price target to 760 or something like that. So you have a gap up. It's trading about 590, 592, something like that. So there'll be a big gap on the open. You got to be ready for a fade, for them to come back in here to 570 or at least to 580 where there's some technical support. I would be hesitant on this open to not just pile in. A place where you could pile in and take a shot is if they don't fill the gap, clear the prior high at 600, then you buy. If you break the new highs, you got to buy. That's the motto. New highs, you got to buy. Everyone would be profitable, and you could set your stop just below and then look for a move higher. But I would be, I would be cautious right in here on this opening with a, $25 gap below. You'd be at the mercy of, the candles right out of the gate. Unless you're going to say, I'm going to go short against 600, you could try that. That'll just depend on, that first opening range and see which way they want to go, whether they want to bring it back in or break it out. Microsoft, I've dropped in a little channel here. I think you can be long against the lower part of this channel and look for a move higher above this 216.50. I mean, there's three levels: 216.50, 217.50, and then 221 at the top. So although it lost a little horsepower yesterday, I'm looking for this to move higher. Hopefully it'll get some juice today. Amazon, consolidation day yesterday, didn't do anything. It's a pretty simple setup. 3,200 is your pivot. Above, you're looking for 3,250, and below, you're looking for 3,150. And these, $50 increments. Now, if things really get going, don't forget you've got this $70 gap above. If you get a break above 3,250, got to get either, get long. You can add to your position if you want, or roll up strikes, however you want to play that. Or if you're not in, let this resolve and then set your alarm at 3,250 if you want to make a try at Amazon going to 33.20 or even 33.35. Google, nice move, breakout, back test, advance, bull flag. If it takes out 1830, I think you can be long against that. We're at the end of the week, with option expiration tomorrow. So all things being considered, options here, are a lot cheaper than they would have been on Monday or yesterday or, any time before that. So if you're an active trader and you're comfortable with that type of, trade, buying something today that expires tomorrow, and you get this breakout at 1830, we could run to 1860, 1850, and that would be a nice trade for you. But you gotta be fast, because any move against you will hurt a lot faster on these, short dated options than, one that, has more time on it. So I'm looking for a breakout of this bull flag. I hope I get it. I'm still long. So I'm talking my book, but the structure, the technicals are there to support that long view. Big impulsive move, nice technical back check, nice flagging action. Want to see 1830 get taken out. Netflix, consolidation, lost a little horsepower. I am looking for a break above 505 and a move up to 515 to fill the gap. And if all the stars align, even to move towards this 525 level on a fill of this other gap from back here. So I'm looking for Netflix to move higher. I don't want to see this come back too much. I am in Friday's 500 calls, so I'm treading water at this point. I need a move above 505 today to get paid. So that's what I'm hoping for. And lastly, CRM. Here is the bracket trade. This is a 60-minute chart. Alarm 226 for a potential $20 gap fill higher, and alarm 215 for a potential either a long entry against the low or a short if that were to break down. I really favor the long side here. We're a little short on time. I don't want to get into it, but the 200 is right below here at 213, and then there's some other technical support coming in around 210. So I think the downside is limited. What I would rather see you try is, if you got to move down to 215, try that long and see if you can just simply get a bounce back up to the top of the box. That would be a great trade in and of itself. That's a $10 move, and that would certainly be, you know, a worthwhile attempt to make. So let's see how Apple and Tesla go today. See if that positive sentiment holds and can lift the other mega cap names. Facebook looking for a breakout. Google looking for a breakout. If those break out, we're going to have a good day on the Qs. Don't forget, we've got jobless claims at 8:30. The last couple times the market has looked past, you know, any kind of perceived deficiency, but with sentiment stretched, you don't know what that red bar trigger is going to be. It could be, you know, the jobless claims. It could be non-farm payrolls tomorrow. It could be anything. So stay on your toes. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't get yourself, you know, all overextended. Stay within your sweet spot. Stay within your comfort zone. Key off your levels. Respect your stops, and you'll have a good day of trading. If you're new to the channel and like what you've heard, hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you here. We're all working hard to get better, trying to make some money. We'd love to have you along for the ride. Over in the show notes are links to my content where you'll get an email each and every time I publish something. Keep you abreast of the market so you don't miss a beat. And also link to the blog site where you'll find a lot of helpful information on, you know, in the trade school section and also in the trading psychology section. There's a ton of helpful trading psychology articles and posts there. You know, I think, you know, 90% of traders don't bother with the trading psychology, but 90% of traders ultimately fail in that goal of achieving consistent profitability. You know, all the levels, all the, you know, all the technical techniques of trading can be learned by anybody, right? The information is out there. It's not rocket science. But if you don't have your mental framework correct, all that stuff won't make a difference. You know, if you're constantly toggling between scared and greedy, and you got everything flipped upside down, it's frustrating when you think you've got it figured out. It's more frustrating when your trading psychology and framework is not aligned properly with the market. So anyways, long way of saying I'd love to have you. If you're interested, please join us. So until we speak again, have a good morning of trading, and talk to you soon.